The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed are of the individual's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of Enamor Media.
It sounds good, man. Shout out to RJ, man.
Yes, it's a jam session every time.
He actually got us another one. I think I played it on one episode.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, before we started, I was just telling you I was gonna try to work on an actual intro for us. And I think I may use that one. It's got like this one is so classic though.
Yeah.
That
It's
I don't know if I really want to change it. But the other one is nice. It deserves something.
Right.
So it's the same. Don't get me wrong. It's the same, like the same body, you know. But no, the vibe is different.
I think it's kind of similar though.
It's like really. I don't want to say R&B-ish, but I guess that's the best I can say. The other one is like really, like real neo soulish, like R&B, like.
Well, we got options because need you to get on my YouTube stuff. I haven't forgotten.
I do need to get on that.
Yes.
I do. I definitely do.
Please.
Of course, heck, we've been gone for over a month now.
Ever.
Yes. It seemed as if of course, y'all know we do this show every other weekend. It just seemed as if every other weekend, we all, at least for the past month or so, we all had something going on.
Right.
And y'all see, it's just Ebony and I at the moment.
Yes.
Which is perfectly fine. That's how we started it. But we do have two co-hosts, and if y'all missing those co-hosts, I'm sorry, they'll be back.
Yeah.
But they Marquita is traveling the world,
Yes.
doing big things.
Hey.
And Dom is I guess he could tell y'all what he had going on himself.
Yeah.
And nothing bad or nothing, but it's great, you know.
Everybody doing big
everybody
things.
just been a little busy.
Lifing.
Yeah, man. Speaking of lifing, man, we didn't really have no topics, but we've been
lifing. Oh my God!
Not in a good way, man.
Life has been.
It's been tough.
It has.
Yeah, this past month has been a definite lesson. It's been a soul searching. It's definitely been tough. Most certainly a challenge, right? Very challenging. So I'll let you tell them the story of what happened, man.
Let me tell it.
Yeah.
So, like you said, life has been a doozy, right? Mm-hmm. So, April. Dang, it's been long.
April. It has.
This was
right?
April.
This is
literally
crazy, man. This is absolutely crazy, man.
Yeah. So, April 22nd, 21st, somewhere in there. April 20 something. I'm going down 85. And lo and behold, as I'm going down 85, a ladder is coming at me on 85. Oh my gosh. So, needless to say, the ladder and I collided.
Right.
So, I had an incident that I hit the ladder on 85, tow up the car. I won't say it tow it up, but I couldn't drive it. So it was tow up enough.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, when you called me, was I still not I was still over the road driving at the time, like. I hadn't taken this position I got now, right?
Right. You were still going.
I was over the road.
You were not at home.
I think I was on
the way home.
You
were on the way. You was on the way.
Because your parents had just flew in.
So my parents had flew in. I was actually going to
the airport to pick them up. Yeah,
going to pick them up on the airport. Right. I'm in not the fastest lane as we call it, but the second to the fast lane.
Right.
There is a truck in
Travel
front of
lane.
me. Yeah. Okay. In the travel lane. You know, I don't know all the technical terms, but there's a truck in front of me, and the truck hit something. From what I could see, the truck hit something, and it kicks it back to me. And at the time, I did not know it was a ladder. All I know, it was a piece of metal flying at me.
Yeah.
I hit it. Obviously, a tire is blown, and I have to cross over at least 2 lanes to get off of the side of the highway.
Right.
I get off because I was going to get my parents. I ended up calling Marquita, can you please go get my parents? Trying to still be cool, calm, and collected, but I was at the point of breaking down.
Yo, first of all, let's take a moment to just let's take a moment to thank Marquita, man.
Marquita has been
She's
awesome.
been awesome, man. She went and got your parents. Of course, my car had already been down,
Yep.
so we were down to,
Just so
we got a
happened
car
we
for our
had
daughter, but we were down to our last vehicle,
Right.
And then
but
that was
just so
you know,
happened that day we had, because my parents were here, we had got a rental. We had already reserved a rental that I was picking up literally
correct.
after I got them from the airport. So just so happened, miraculously, we had that already set in place. But I called Marquita, and like I said, I'm in a point of, oh my gosh, I'm about to break down, but can you go get my parents? She sets that up. I call you.
Yeah. So she calls me. First thing going through my mind is like, okay, she's talking to me, so I'm thinking they all right. She didn't sound like she was in a panic, so I'm thinking, okay, they're fine. Like physically fine,
Right.
And at the end of the day, that's what you got insurance for. Now we're gonna get into that. But at the end of the day, that's what you have insurance for. It's like, don't worry about it. We good. Now, we had just left USAA insurance, which, listen, don't get me wrong. USAA, to me, is the best insurance experience that I've ever had. But
Right.
I've never been through this anyway.
Right.
Like, I've never had to file a claim, but at least the customer service, you get what I'm saying? Like, USAA is phenomenal. And if you have an opportunity to be a USAA member, I suggest you do that.
Right.
Progressive is who we went to because they had the cheapest rates. Yeah. We had added our daughter.
Right.
And
New
of
driver.
course that skyrocketed it with
Right.
USAA, and we were searching, man, because that was a lot of money, man. I think it was like, it increased it by what? 600?
Yeah. Close to it.
Well, increased it by 400 to make it like $6 something a month.
Well, no,
something.
it was actually more than, it was almost $800.
Oh yeah, that's right. It increased it by 600 and made it about 800 a month with USAA.
Right.
And I was just like, and we were doing it. Don't get me wrong, but boy, it was a struggle. I'm not even gonna lie, man. That was a struggle.
Yes.
And so with Progressive, it came down.
Right.
It came down quite a bit because I think I took 2 vehicles off.
Right.
And just had like her car and your car. Right, because I wasn't driving my car anyway.
Right.
And then we ain't thinking about the other car. So we had it went down drastically, excuse me.
Right.
And anyway, so when she called me, I'm like, okay, we ain't gonna worry about it. She's fine physically. Call 911. Call the police is what I said. So when the police officer gets there, which took forever, by the way, because it had to be a state trooper.
Yep.
Because she was on the interstate. So when the police officer, the trooper finally arrives, it's if I'm not mistaken, you were telling me I remember where I was. I was in Charleston, but because I was on the bridge. But anyway, you told me that it was like 3 other cars that got hit by the thing, or at least contacted the thing.
It was actually about 5 because initially when I hit it and finally got off the road, there were 2 other vehicles that were in front of me that had hit it at the same time.
Okay.
So they had already pulled off and, they're inspecting their vehicle and their vehicles are fine. But by the time the state trooper got there, there were at least 2 to 3 other people behind me that had hit the same ladder, and they had some damage. And of course, I'm like, look, I called 911 first. Mr. Trooper, why are you stopping at them first?
Right,
but needless to say, of course, that's who he got to first. But when I initially pulled off, like I said, there were two other people that were in front of me that had hit the ladder, and their vehicles were fine. They had, I think, the SUV that was in front of me, like, had a couple scratches, but she was okay with it. They both checked to make sure I was okay. Because, of course, you know, like I said, I had to kind of limp my way across traffic to the side of the road. And
listen, for y'all wondering, I actually drove back by this ladder so you can see why it caused so much damage.
oh my gosh.
And it was an aluminum ladder.
Yes.
And it curves. It curves over the side because we're going to get into Mr. I'm going to call him Jack Rabbit. We're going to get into our adjuster, who is a native, I believe is a native of Charlotte. So I hope he sees this. Like, I actually don't want to see him because I don't know what, you know what I'm saying, how I would react. So I don't want to meet him. But he's a jackrabbit. And anyway, he's questioning and to give to whatever the saying is, to give him some credit. I guess I was wondering the same thing. Like, how is the side of my car scratched all the way? I mean,
Like,
it's dented and scratched all the way in on the side.
Right.
To give him some kind of credit to that, I wanted to know the same thing. But when I seen the ladder, it made sense.
Right.
Because it folded over.
Exactly.
But his job ain't to, at least I don't believe, after talking to somebody else who was a adjuster, used to be, his job is not to go in trying to investigate.
Right.
That was already done by
simply
the guy
looking at
previously.
Right.
You just need to be assessing damages.
Right.
You over there trying to investigate. He's trying to act like as if we were trying to, from the beginning of dealing with Progressive.
No, the beginning when I initially called, it actually, speaking to that customer service representative while I was on the side of the highway, was great. That initial call was great. She made sure, she was like, are you in a safe environment? You know, whatever. She was very nice and polite and kind, you know, gave us the whole layout because.
And to that, we've been getting a lot of mixed, I've been getting a lot of mixed
reviews.
Some say Progressive isn't great. Some say Progressive is horrible. And I don't know if it's because we literally just made the switch from USAA to Progressive and we ain't put enough money into their pot for them to feel like, but that's not how insurance works.
Right.
It doesn't matter how much you decided to cover me. It's just like life insurance. If I literally just got another life insurance policy. If I die, I die.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? I ain't trying to.
Right.
I'm not out there trying to hit ladders. I'm not trying to. You get what I'm saying? If it happens, it happens. It's a risk.
Right.
Y'all take measured risk.
Exactly.
And it just so happened that something happened, which has never happened.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So it is crazy. We put all this money into insurance, which I think at the end of the day is somewhat of a scam. We don't put all this money into insurance, and now that we need to utilize it,
right,
we getting investigated as if, you know what I'm saying? I get it though, but at the same time, it's
overall, my experience with Progressive has been horrible. We have had a few people in the mix. Like I said, the initial representative was great.
When I made that phone call the other day to request his supervisor, he was nice and finally explained some stuff.
Right.
Because I've been asking questions from the beginning. I've been asking, hey, listen, I've never been through this. They make the assumption that everybody files claims. No, everybody doesn't.
No,
you get what I'm saying? Like, I have never gone through this situation, and I'm looking for some guidance from you. I'm your customer, and I'm looking for guidance.
Right.
You done asked. I done asked. We not receiving nothing clear and concise.
The crazy part, you guys, is that we have told these people that, look, this is a new process for us, and they still acted as if, oh, you're just supposed to know. Like, I'm going to give you a overview of what's going to happen. None of that stuff that they explain is going to happen has happened, but yet we're still just supposed to know and expect.
Correct.
This has been the worst.
Absolute insanity.
So
man.
from the point of the claim specialist telling me I needed to show him proof that I contacted 911 to
right.
which was it is absurd because when we called Progressive back when the trooper arrived to say, hey, do we actually need a police report? They're like, no, people file claims. You don't have to have a police report.
And not only that, and this is something that we learned, and I'm glad. I love being transparent so people can learn stuff,
Right.
so they don't have to go through the same thing we just did.
Please don't.
The trooper also advised that if you did want to go through with me creating a report, it's going to go down as an incident.
Right.
It's going to be points on your license.
Right.
So we don't want that. You get what I'm saying?
Because we just switched because insurance is high. So
But
no,
I was still gonna do it.
Right.
Because I told
That
you to
is
hold on, wait a minute, call Progressive back. The trooper waited,
Right.
talked to them, and they said, no, you do not need it.
Right.
Fine. So we didn't do that.
Right.
Then this now we about to get into the meat of the situation. Progressive, the car is towed to our house in the driveway. It happened on a Friday, I believe. So they were like, oh, we don't. Either they couldn't or they didn't advise trying to take it to a shop or something right away. So they brought it to our driveway.
Right.
It stayed in our driveway for at least, I believe, 2 weeks. I believe it was 2 weeks.
It was.
It stayed in our driveway for 2 weeks, limped in our driveway for 2 weeks. We had already did the little video. They do this little thing with the app, the video walking around.
Right.
I
Right.
went up under the car and showed what I could see. I sat there and we waited. I think we got a response from somebody who initially had it. Then it went to this investigator dude. I'm not gonna say no names, but it went to this investigator guy.
Right.
So he has it. This guy tells us, and keep in mind, I'm about to say it as if it all happened suddenly, but this is over the course of 3 weeks. What I'm talking about, guys. We now on week 5. I know. I think is it week 5?
What now?
Yeah.
Currently, yeah.
6, 5 or
We're
6.
probably, I think, really 6. But
So I'm about
yes.
to tell you, I'm kind of summarizing this, and it's going to be over the course of literally like 3 or 4 weeks. So the whole thing was about 5 to 6 weeks in.
Right.
Okay, so we contact him. He tells us he got to do an investigation. He needed to see a summary page from USAA because there's something I learned where people do double. They already have previous damage to a vehicle, and they try to have double policies on their car. Some kind of thing where they can get money from both insurance. It's a scam type. I don't know if it's necessarily a scam, but it's illegal, I believe. But you can't get money. Anyway, they were trying to do their investigation part thing.
Right.
And if I could figure that out, I'll throw it up there for you guys so you'll know. But of course we weren't doing that.
Right.
We just, we need our car ready, right?
Right.
Okay, so
I got kids in school, got kids in sports.
exactly. Heck, we're using it to hustle, make
Right.
money.
Got
Like,
side hustles, all kind of stuff going on that requires
man.
me needing this vehicle. But
So, and of course we said, okay, we came to an agreement with Marquita. She allowed, allowed us. I mean, it's still next to, if we went and rented a car, it's a whole lot cheaper working with her than going to rent a car. Okay. So, he tells us that he can't find a body shop that would do it, in a reasonable amount of time because everybody's backed up.
right.
Which I totally believe. So he requested, hey, I think his very words were, I can only contact
People
in our network.
Yep.
But you can get on Google and find a body shop. The only thing they have to have is a lift.
Right.
Because I told him that I could jack the car up so the guy could at least look up under the car. He said they don't do that anymore. So the only thing I can do is find somebody with a lift to lift the car so they can do the estimate. They can't do the estimate based off the video and the pictures.
Right.
So we call around. First I called Mako. Mako could lift it I think, or they couldn't lift it. One or the other.
Right.
But anyway, it didn't work out.
Right.
So I find this body shop, and I will say this name, Rick's Body Shop in Gastonia. So they got great reviews. She's laughing because this guy, he's not a bad, I don't think he's a bad guy. Like, we got mixed, I don't think he's a bad guy, but he's not doing right. He's doing incorrect.
I won't
right
say
now.
that I think that he's a bad guy either. So let's not get it twisted.
Yeah,
because
I don't think he's
I had
a
a
bad
conversation with him. I told you, even based off of my first conversation with
Right,
him,
he
that
said
I
he
think
wanted
he's
to make it
pretty
right.
genuine. I don't think he initially did anything malicious. But I think at this point of where we are, his stance on making it right isn't making it right.
I agree with you. However,
but we got to bring him into it. So
okay.
Deep
So
into it
we still at the part where they request us to find a body shop. We find Rick's. Rick's agrees that they can lift it up. The adjuster will come so they can do an estimate.
Right.
Keep in mind, we're like week 3 or 4 of this thing right now. Mm-hmm. It's been at Rick's Body Shop for the last, I know, 3 weeks. I know for sure. Mm-hmm. Okay, according to Rick, it'll finally be completed in sometime next week. But we never asked them to do any repairs.
Right.
We did not sign the authorization form that they sent after the fact that they realized that we never signed it. And I specifically told them and the adjuster multiple times, do not do any repairs to my car until you tell me what's wrong. The reason why is because I'm looking at, I told them that thing hit the back wheel, and he's already telling me that, well, I don't see how that could damage. That's the reason why I said that, because I feel as if you're not going to completely fix my car. Mm-hmm. You're going to do what you feel like it should be done. I'm talking about the adjuster, not Rick's.
Right.
I'm talking about the adjuster because he talking about some, well, it looks like this didn't happen. This or was already, no. There was nothing wrong with my car.
Right.
Whether my car was older, I took care of it.
Right.
It was nothing wrong with my car. You really upsetting me.
Right.
So I specifically gave them specific instructions not to do any repairs to my car until you talk to us.
Right. Till we have an estimate.
He authorizes. Now, keep in mind what I'm telling y'all, and I'm saying this so that everybody understands. There's no, insurance companies do not own your vehicle. They have no right to tell anyone to do anything to your car.
Absolutely.
The only job that he was supposed to do was give us an estimate and tell us what the damages were.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
He overstepped, and now Progressive is saying, well, Rick's done the body has done the work, so we have to pay them. That's not my problem. Mm-mm. It's not my problem that Rick's has done the work after I specifically told them and didn't sign their authorization form and told them why I didn't sign it.
Right.
Because I wanted an estimate and I would sign it only until I agree that work is done.
Right.
That work should be done. Rick's has stepped over the line. And listen, I get it. I understand why Rick's did it, but they still shouldn't have done it because I specifically told them not to. They're going up based off of the word of the Progressive adjuster. Right. Now, the Progressive adjuster is a complete a complete, because the entire time I'm talking to him, he's talking to me as if I'm a child.
He's very dismissive.
He's very dismissive, very disrespectful. And listen, y'all have to understand something. People think that just because if you don't say anything, call somebody out their name, or if you don't curse at them, that you're being polite and respectful. That's totally incorrect. Mm-hmm. You're being dismissive when I specifically ask you a question and you say, oh, okay, well, so, Now, y'all will have to hear the conversation so you can understand what I'm saying.
It's called being nice, nasty.
Nice, nasty, and condescending.
Right.
And I specifically told this guy, hey, listen, I could have paid for this out of pocket. The only thing may have been wrong. I don't know anything because to this day I still don't know exactly what's wrong with my vehicle.
Right.
To this day I don't. They still
haven't
have
told
yet to tell us anything
exactly what's wrong with the vehicle or anything.
And it's about to be finished.
All I know is that
and we still don't know what the estimate of the. We still don't even know that. We know that it's in the ballpark of I think $5,000.
Right.
That's what they have told us in the. That ain't. Man, listen, I don't know how that worked, but I'm pretty sure that's not it. I'm pretty sure they supposed to tell you to the penny
Right.
what the thing is supposed to be.
Absolutely.
After talking to other people that have gone through, they have already told me that they supposed to, who have went through it with Progressive. So I'm telling you, I think it all boils down to this adjuster. He's just a jackrabbit.
He is.
Man, I'm doing good tonight.
You are.
This guy's just a jackrabbit, man. He thinks that he could do whatever he wants to.
Right.
And Progressive's they're not gonna do anything about him. And they've already pretty much said, hey, I know we effed up. They pretty much said that, right?
They have said that already.
Without they acknowledge that they shouldn't have done it, but they're not gonna do anything about it.
Right.
And it's like this. So we call some lawyers, most of them personal injury lawyers, because they're coming up like they, will handle the case.
Right.
And they're saying, they're saying, yeah, basically, oh, you definitely got something here.
Right.
However, we don't handle it.
Right.
Then the only lawyer, well, it's not the only lawyer I found. I actually found two in the area. That lawyer, the only one I talked to so far, is trying to it's astronomical.
Right.
Right.
Just for the consultation.
But don't get me wrong. Depending on what happens next week, I might have to.
We're gonna pay that consultation.
I might have
fee.
to go ahead and pay that thing just for the consultation.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. I might have to do it because, and I know a lot of people are probably gonna say, okay, well, your car is fixed. That's not the point, though.
Right.
The point is you can't make all those decisions for me.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like
because
I feel,
you don't like I've told the adjuster, well, the field adjuster supervisor at this point that I finally got a chance to talk to. Like I told him, you have taken my power away. Right. So I could have decided to not do anything at all. I could have said, you know what, based off of what y'all see the damages are, it's not that bad. I can just replace this
X,
to
Y,
get
and Z.
it right, to get it going. And don't even worry
and don't
about it.
even
It's
worry
not
about
even
because
worth
we
doing
could
a
have had
claim
our
for.
car. We literally, you don't even realize how much money we have lost dealing with this.
Yes.
How much sleep has been lost dealing with this because, and I'm not talking about sleep from stress. I'm talking about sleep because now my wife has to get up. You get what I'm saying? Like y'all don't understand all of this stuff. Marquita, bless her heart, that car's not the best. It's giving us problems that we don't had to correct. Listen, man, y'all don't understand how much this thing has cost us.
Right.
And that car I could have had that car. It may not have been scratched up. It may have been beat up, but it would have been running.
Right.
And I could have had my
could care
car
less about that.
a long time ago. I'm talking about at this point a month ago.
Right.
They have literally cost me, and this is just a ballpark figure. This is just me thinking in my head, time that I've been late, all this stuff. I'm literally thinking probably around $5,000.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's how much they have cost me. And so don't get me wrong, I want my car back. And I remember them talking about, well, it may or may not be in the ballpark of being totaled out.
Right.
I said,
because
cool.
At one point, the claim specialist, when we did do a
They said it
follow-up
was
call,
total.
they said that it was total.
Right, in which we just learned is meaning that
75% of the value.
75% of the value is the damage is equal 75% of the value. However, I know from my parents, my brother getting in an accident, that you can keep the car.
Right.
So I told them, fine. If the car total, I still want my car.
Right.
Because I feel like whether I do it piece by piece, little by little, I can get the car. I love this car.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That is
Best
my
car I
baby.
ever had. I love the car. So it's like I want my car regardless. But my whole thing is, y'all, like she said, I can't really explain it. It's like when you got Rick's Body Shop over here, Progressive over here, right? And to us, as being, check to check, regular people.
Right.
These are big businesses, big institutions that we're fighting, right?
Right.
It's like fighting the whole system as if it was a criminal system.
Right.
You fighting this whole system and you trying to do it by yourself, and that's very hard. But it don't mean that we can't come out on top. It doesn't mean that. However, it does make you wonder, is it even worth it?
Right.
But to me, and it's just me, I'm not speaking for my wife. I feel like it's worth it. Only because if we don't go through it, then they're gonna continue to do it. Now they claim that they've actually the Ricks, when we talked to the owner on the phone, and when you talked to Progressive. Yeah, you talked to the guy from the supervisor, the guy supervisor, the Jackrabbit supervisor.
Right.
They claim that both of them claim that they've only seen it, us and one other person go through something similar.
Right.
Where
in somebody's 37 years and one guy's 10 years.
10 years, right. Progressive 10 years and Rick's 30 some odd years of experience. They've only seen this twice.
Right.
Where
however, I feel like it
none
could
of that
have
matters.
It doesn't matter, but to me it's like if you've done this to us, there's no telling how many other people you've done this
That's how I feel. And
they just didn't say anything. They just went ahead and said, okay, you know what?
Whatever.
But how I am, no, this is not, I'm a black and white person when it comes to stuff, especially when it comes to stuff business related. Look, what you're supposed to do is what you're supposed to do. And if I call you on your mess up, you need to acknowledge it and fix it.
And I'm actually different because I actually know that my wife is a little bit harder and a little bit more rigid than I am when it comes to this kind of stuff, because I actually told her, hey, people make mistakes.
Right. But
hold on, because I agree with you, because I just said that, hey, I think we do need to do something about it. However, after giving them an opportunity to say, hey, look, and kind of for me personally, if an apology, nobody apologized. Had an apology come, they acknowledged, hey, yeah, we messed up. But ain't nobody said, hey, look, genuinely, I am sorry that this happened to you. It should not have happened. And for me, it's like, I don't want somebody else who may not even have as much as me to go through this with you.
Right.
All I want you to do is say, hey, look, I'm sorry. But to make it right, we're gonna implement some policies so this don't happen to nobody else. That's all I want.
Right.
Me, I can live with it because I'm not going to be thinking about this car in 10, 15, 20 years.
Right.
I'm probably not even going to be thinking about Progressive in 10, 15, 20 years.
I'm not going to be thinking about Progressive.
Oh, yeah. We done with them anyway.
6 month premium is over.
Yeah, I'm done with that.
And if I can cut it shorter than the 6 month premium, believe me, I'm about to be completely, like I told the Jackrabbit supervisor the other day, I am done with you and Progressive.
At this point, I'm done with you and Progressive.
Right.
That was funny to me.
Oh my gosh, I was so livid, and that was the only thing that I was over it.
Man.
I am over this whole situation. I am over this whole ordeal. It makes absolutely no sense that we have gone through this and for so long.
I feel like I really feel like it just boiled down to I don't want to say racism, but I think the guy was just completely racist, and I think what are stereotypical, because what I believe was from the vibes that I was getting from him was that he thought that you and I were just trying to get money,
get a check. Yep. And
I didn't ask for no money until Thursday or Friday.
As of now, I want a check.
Exactly, and the only reason I asked for that is because y'all thought y'all could just do what you wanted to do.
Right.
So now I want a check.
Right.
Now you need to pay me.
Right.
Then Rick's gonna ask, well, how much were you looking to get? Everything.
Right.
What are you talking about? There's not an amount. I want everything. I want everything that I was supposed to get.
Right.
Because I literally could have said, I don't want nothing.
Right.
And had my car running months ago. Now I need to recoup all these losses, fooling around with y'all.
Right.
You thinking that you just gonna get a payday because you just gonna do the work anyway. Right. And even when we talk to him,
ultimately that's what he's done.
And that's what he's done.
And Progressive is going for it.
He's went as far as to tell me that he was gonna hold my car until he got paid if they didn't give him the money.
Right.
And I told him, well, I'm just gonna do what I got to do, which is call the police I'm not gonna harm them. Just gonna call the police, file a police report, because that's theft. At that point, that's theft. Good, because the only thing you were supposed to do was do an estimate.
Right.
Then talking about waive your
deductible. What?
I don't care about a deductible. See, I think what they thinking is just because a person say they live and check to check.
This is Rick's body talking about they're gonna waive the deductible.
Just because a person live and check to check doesn't mean they don't have money.
Right.
Don't get me wrong.
I don't, but
I ain't got no money like that. I'm not even out here front like I got it. I'm struggling. I'm struggling looking for more hustles every day.
Right.
But it doesn't mean I don't have access to get it.
Right.
And you have really like irked me, especially when he said, well, because I told him, hey, look, if you feel like you need to go to court to sue Progressive, I'll be right there in your corner to testify on your behalf, because I didn't authorize them to tell you anything.
Right.
I didn't never sign your paper. You shouldn't have done that. And I specifically told them, you shouldn't have done that work.
Right.
Based off of that, you should have waited till you talked to us. But you did anyway. But I still testify on your behalf because Progressive was totally wrong.
Right.
He gonna turn around and say, well, I don't have time to go to court for no $5,000. Well, since $5,000 don't mean nothing to you, right?
Right.
Why you feel the need to hold my car until?
Right.
So I tell you what, and just like body shop, we gonna see what happened this week. I'm gonna talk to an attorney. But just like a body shop or a repair shop will charge you per day until I get my car. That's what I'm gonna do to him.
Right.
I want a per day.
Right.
A per day allowance for every day that he kept my car for me.
Definitely.
And truth be told, at that point, I wonder when it becomes civil to criminal. Because at that point it's just blatant theft.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, when can I? And he seems to be, according to reviews, the guy seems to help the community. He seems to do none of that mess matter. All your good deeds go out the window.
Yeah, to me it does.
All of it, and I'm not saying it does, with me, but I'm just saying, like, that's how it happens with young black people every day. You could do everything right, and as soon as you make one mistake, they want to lock you up.
Right.
So I don't care if you I don't care what you've done prior to you committing a crime now.
Right.
So you a criminal. I don't you know what I'm saying? I don't know what else to say. Like, and I'm not saying that's what I want. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even saying that's what will happen, because more than likely we know this is a good old boy system.
Oh yes.
So more than likely,
right here where we live.
More than likely won't nothing happen. More than likely, Progressives is going to get away with doing whatever they want to do, and Rick's is going to get away with whatever they want to do. But it's always that 1% chance that just maybe a judge will side with us, and just maybe they would have to implement some policies,
right,
so that they can't take advantage of people anymore. So I think it's well worth it. Matter of fact, if you guys are seeing this and know a lawyer that can help us in this situation, that's in the we're in North Carolina, by all means, please let us know.
Definitely.
We'll work something out. Like I said, I'm check, but it don't make sense. Somebody got to fight for the little guy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Somebody has to fight for the little guy. It really makes no sense. Of course, they're acknowledging that they screwed up, but they're not. Acknowledgement and apologize are two different things. Apologize goes a long way.
Right.
When you simply say, hey, as a company, we have effed up.
Right.
We out here throwing commercials acting like we, you know what I'm saying? We got Flo and all these other people. I
done seen Flo. I don't know
how many times
today.
we've been sitting here watching TV today. Done seen Flo.
Right.
And now I don't even like Flo. Who I used to like her.
Right.
Now I don't even like Flo.
Right.
I'm sorry. I don't even want to see Flo face no more.
Right.
Hey guys, Jay here. If you like movies, be sure to follow us at Enamored Movie Reviews. You can catch us on YouTube. Now, let's get back to the show.
I see a Progressive commercial and I automatically
yeah, it's turning my stomach, and that's how easy, bad customer service can ruin.
Right.
And that can take us to a deeper conversation. So, because it's just like being a Christian, right? We talk about how a lot of people turn away from Christianity based on the experience they had with a person who quote unquote called themselves a Christian.
Right. Right.
It's sad, but it's true. So we have got to be very careful with whom we allow to represent us.
Right.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That is good.
How do you represent Christ?
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Right? How do you represent Christ? Man, I'm coming to a realization about some things, man. That's another episode.
That's very true.
Good, man.
Only because I know a lot of people that have turned away from, I won't say Christ, but they've turned away from church based off of how leadership has dealt with them. And it's not just a simple reprimand, because, some people just don't feel like they should be reprimanded. So it's beyond just being reprimanded, right? It is a whole leaders talking about you, or some preachers have, or pastors, they're counselors, and if I'm in a counseling session, what goes on in this counseling session should be between me and you. The whole congregation should know.
Absolutely.
So a lot of people have turned away from the church because of leaders that are like that or whatever. So you do have to govern yourself accordingly. I know at one point I left the church based off of people talking about me. And I was still young. I'm still young now, but I was younger. Oh, don't you do that.
Hit my button. I ain't heard that in a minute. Mom sharing.
Oh my goodness.
Hit that thing. Girl, you need to know where that stuff at. You got to have that one. See, that I need to change that color to a way you just know.
Right. It needs to be that one right there. But I also had to come to the realization that these people don't dictate my relationship with God. So,
Thank you.
Me going to church is not based off of these people. Because at the end of the day, the relationship that I have is between me and God. It ain't got nothing to do with them. So, I had to do some growing.
But we know that that's not always the case, though. So right. Our interaction with people does affect us.
Right, it does.
I mean, if it were not so, then Jesus would not have made that verse that says, leading my children astray. It'd be better for you to have a rock tied around your neck than to have lead one of my children astray. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That verse, the verse where Paul was talking about, let them be accursed, whoever preaches to you, other than the gospel that I preach to you. I think it's in Galatians.
Right.
Whoever preaches to you, anything outside of that, let them be accursed, even if it be an angel.
Right.
So we know that we can be influenced because we are we're social creatures.
Right.
Right. So we can be influenced, and then there's so many verses that's coming to mind now that will help this case. You know what we're talking about.
Right.
Because and I try to say I hate us being so gullible, but when we look at what happened with Trump that year with him and Hillary, and we talk about they were talking about Russia and the social media, and I was like, well, we deserve to have Trump. I said this. We deserve to have Trump if we that stupid to believe everything on social media. But then I'm starting to, as I'm maturing, I change, right? So I'm starting to realize that I don't know if it's just that stupid or we may be gullible. Don't get me wrong, but there's still a responsibility there,
Right.
Definitely. There's still a responsibility of these social media companies. Like it's called Meta now. Meta. There's a responsibility, and I see, of course, we see that they are trying to step up,
right?
You know, and make some changes. YouTube, Meta, or YouTube being Google, Alphabet company, I believe it's called. But anyway, there are starting to be some things. We're starting to see people take some accountability, such as the firing of Tucker Carlson from Fox News.
Yep.
It was Tucker Carlson is his name, right? I don't watch Fox News. So I think that's his name. But I didn't think nothing like that would ever happen.
Right.
But it did. And as popular as he was to them, it let you know that, hey, they were of course they were going through the whole thing with Congress anyway. They weren't being scrutinized. But they still didn't have to do it.
Right.
But at some point, we got to start taking accountability, and I guess they did in some form or fashion. Newsmax, they about to do. I'm pretty sure they're gonna do the same thing with that clown over there, the one that y'all remember when we did that episode where I played the guy talking about a space museum. That's where we should go.
Yes,
you remember that?
Yes,
where he was talking about nobody wants to hear about Dick Gregory. Nobody, the Black History Museum and all that. Eventually, he probably next on the chopping block.
Yeah,
because we can't continue to live in this hate, and we can't continue to push this kind of rhetoric. You know, like I guess it's okay for a moment, but after a while, for the betterment of society, stuff like that got to go.
Right. Definitely.
But yeah, I think that I definitely think that we influence one another.
Oh, definitely.
Whether we want to
or not,
agree to it or not, we do, and there's some responsibility there on our part. Just like as parents, we influence our children, and we need to acknowledge that. And you had them, so you got to accept that responsibility. Right. Whether you want to be, you can say, "Do as I say and not as I do," all you want to, but no, you kind of need to lead by example as well. Right.
Definitely. Because my mom has definitely been on me this week about stuff, but she had made a point, like, they don't just automatically know this stuff. They have to learn it. So, of course, you being the parent is where they're going to learn it from first, whether it's the good or the bad side of it. Right. They're going to learn it. So you have got to, in a sense, watch what you do, because you are now influencing them and how they think and what they do.
I'm realizing that more as my son grows. Oh man, like especially, and it's kind of tough because I guess in a perfect world, you get married about mid-20s, no later than 25. Just hear me out.
Okay.
In a perfect world, you get married at no later than 25. You don't have your first child until 30. And the reason why I say that is because of this. You work on your marriage first. Right. When we were married, we were already, he came like soon thereafter, like a few months thereafter. Right. You were already pregnant when we got married. So we working on, well, for me at least, I know you already had 3 prior, but for me, I'm working on being a parent as well as working at being a husband. Right. Which is like a lot of pressure. Right. And listen, it's not only is it a lot of pressure, it's a lot of stress involved. And that's not to take anything from women. And because I'm not. Because I acknowledge you and I see you, but from the male perspective, doing that it's a lot. Right. And anyone lesser, I guess there are a lot of lesser men, but anyone lesser probably will fold. And I see why divorce rates are so high. Oh yeah. Because it takes a lot of sacrifice. It takes a strong woman, for one, not to leave you when you make all those idle threats. Talking about, man, I'm just gonna leave. It takes a strong woman not to leave you, give in to that nonsense, and just because it could be easier. It could be a lot easier just walking away, and that's not just from my end, from your end as well. I
actually think to me, because a lot of people tell you that marriage is work. It is work. It's like a full-time job. Like, you literally have to work at it. It doesn't come easy. So it is easier to walk away, to be done, to wash your hands of it, because now I don't have to be accountable to anybody. It's just me. And of course, if you have kids, of course you have that accountability. But as far as somebody else holding you accountable and holding you up to a certain standard, because kids only hold you up to the point of really, in a sense, taking care of me. As long as you take care of a child, they're good, right? But when you have someone that's your equal, they're looking at you to step up to the plate, and if not, exceed higher than that, right? So it is easier to walk away when I can say, you know what, forget it. I can go out here and do my own thing. I ain't got to worry about nobody telling me, well, you should be doing, and you're better than this, and this, that, and the third. It is easier to walk away. So I see why a lot of people choose to walk away. Because
I do.
If not, you gotta work. You gotta work at that though.
Man, it's tough, but it's definitely worth it, man.
Oh yeah,
it's definitely worth it to stay, right? Because a lot of people forget when they're in marriages. It's just like this. We got a whole new set of problems with the more, like, you know, we're well into six figures together, of course. Like, well into six figures, about to touch the next level. No, that's not technically true. But the next or the first level, we're close to it, right?
Right.
On a yearly basis. And there was a time period where I don't even know if I was clearing 25, right?
Right.
But so where was I going with that? I was saying, so the struggle, you forget that, just like that, how you forget that you were struggling in a different aspect.
Right.
Like, you were struggling when you were making 25, you were really struggling. Now you struggling because you created a lot more overhead. You created a lot more problems. Don't get me wrong, inflation and rent, all of that has to do with what's going on now. Right. But however, that ain't the whole story. I could handle that easily had I not created all this extra nonsense, right?
Right.
But if I go back and think about when I was single, the nights that I was like, man, I wish I had a wife. That the nights that I prayed for, and then basically to spit back at God and say, look, let's just get a divorce. You basically spitting your gift back out,
right? Because
it's like, don't get me wrong, there are times when I feel like a person definitely needs to leave. We talked about domestic abuse,
right?
Sexual abuse.
Right.
A lot of people think they can't sexually abuse their partner. You definitely can. There's emotional abuse, right? So many factors, right? That are real valid reasons that either they need to change and you forgive them and y'all work on it and move forward, or y'all need to definitely go away. Or that person needs to be locked up because they just won't stop. But for the most part, we need to work together and we need to move forward. Because I simply say that to say that don't forget when you were okay. Oh, hold on. Let me go somewhere else. Cause I got a friend, right? I got a friend who think he like a player. You know what I'm saying? Like he's still trying to act like we in high school. And but he might not even remember this. I won't admit to it, but there was a time when he was talking about he wish he had a wife. You know, excuse me. But when that time period does come, which hopefully, preferably it will, he's gonna have this moment where he's sitting like me and you thinking about this. Yo, let's just boom, let's separate, blah blah blah. But what about that time when you were, you know what I'm saying, wishing you had this?
Right.
So kind of like they say, I wish there was this like some one liner where I could summarize what I'm trying to say, but every time it comes, it kind of dissipates. I think y'all get the gist of what I'm trying to say, man.
Oh yeah, just I can't even sum it up for you.
Yeah, I can't. But anyway, because I want to say I keep thinking of the grasses. The grass isn't always greener. The grass, you know, I guess that kind of alludes to it, but it's not quite grasping it.
Right.
But anyway, I think y'all get what I'm trying to say. And man, I think this has been a eventful episode back.
Yeah.
I might have to put it in 2 parts. I feel like we've been sitting here for a while.
Well, we knocking at an hour.
Okay, so it's about right. It's about right.
About right on track. Technically,
Okay.
I think this should have just been a 45-minute episode, but it's okay. But the crazy part, I didn't, you know, as much as we try to give y'all on the bits and pieces of the progressive thing, I think I really could have talked just on that for an hour by myself. So
I kind of talk more about it.
Yeah.
She's quite upset still.
Yeah,
which rightfully so. Don't get me wrong. You rightfully so. And of course, I guess we it'll all be summarized maybe by the next episode.
Yeah.
And we can tell y'all, or maybe we are going to court. Who knows? But of course, y'all stay tuned.
Yeah.
Hit that subscribe button.
Like, comment,
Like.
share. Definitely share if you have some attorneys in mind.
Yeah, definitely share.
That could give us a little piece of advice. And
follow us on social media, man. On Instagram, and you can find us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Yeah, we don't do Twitter, but I may come back, man. But
YouTube.
Yeah, we don't really do the Twitter tweet. We don't really do that anymore. Yeah, man, most definitely we appreciate y'all. We appreciate all the we at now and subscribers. I think
Don't
it's
even
like whatever we at. We appreciate all 10 of y'all, man.
Right.
But no. We got more to that. But still, man, we appreciate it though.
Right.
For real.
Definitely.
I think we're at a year now. Who knows? This may be a year.
No, not quite. We're getting close though.
No, I think we at a year.
No, I don't think so. Anyway, if we're hitting a year, we're gonna definitely have a year celebration. But
I kind of feel like we hitting a year.
You think? I don't think so.
Because see, we haven't hit a year on YouTube. But I'm talking about when we first started. I feel like it was over the summer last year.
But I think it was like I want to say it was September-ish. But
okay, we'll look it up. But it's the dates on the what's called. We can find out. But
check them out.
We getting close. I know, right?
Oh, we gotta go all out. Hey,
we got We got like I just did this thing. We got like 30.
We need to have a day party. We need to get the planning.
Yeah, man. We need to. Yeah, we should at a year.
Yeah,
we should have
a day party.
We should do it live, at least in front of our family and friends or something, right?
No, we gotta have the whole community out.
What?
Yes, it gotta be a big shebang. Go big or go home.
Maybe year 5.
No.
What are you talking about? Well, we gonna have our 50 friends? Like, what are you talking about, man? But the funny part is, all seriousness, it's been people asking like, "Yo, what's going on?
Right.
Where y'all been? I've been looking for the show. You ain't put nothing up. Y'all done?"
No, we're not done.
No, we not done.
We are not done. We don't go out like that.
I'm not talking about just people I know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like we receiving the message because even our subscriber count had risen, and I didn't even know because I hadn't even looking.
Right, hadn't hopped on.
So it's kind of.
But we back.
We here. We doing it. We doing it, man. Yes. So actually, I think right now we're about to transition. We're gonna stop this, and we're gonna transition into the Little Mermaid review because shout out Hailey Bailey.
I think it's Haley. Chloe
man.
and Haley. I think it's Haley. Haley Bailey.
Haley is the gem.
Yes.
Let's just say that. Out of those two, I don't take nothing. I don't pit people against people. I'm not doing that. But out of those two, Haley is the gem.
Oh my goodness.
She truly is. So.
No.
Yes,
I like
yes.
Chloe.
Why?
Why not?
What is there to like though? Like, what are you talking about?
I like her. I like her as an actress. I like her little bubbly personality. I think it's because for you, Haley is more reserved, quiet, and she gives off that kind of good girl vibe. Versus her sister is like, "Hey, I'm here."
Yeah, but you know the crazy part is, in real life, if we were talking sex, Chloe is probably the one that's not. And the reason why I say that, I'm talking about actually in the bedroom. And this is something
Oh
that
my
the
gosh,
guys.
how did we just get to this?
No, let's get there.
What?
Because this is something that the guys, they say, the lady in the streets, freak in the sheets.
Oh my gosh.
I'm telling you, the ones that are really, that are, in my experience at least, the ones that act like, oh man, they just out there, ass quasi hanging out, we in the club, blah, blah. They really, you get them in the bedroom,
They're reserved.
Yeah, they don't really know what they're doing. But the ones that's like the quiet ones are the straight freaks, bro.
Oh my gosh.
Listen. I'm telling you, I really think old girl, she is probably reversed, really. But I would still rather, actually, hands down, I would rather to Haley did the Chloe, man. But yeah, but she did a wonderful job, and we're gonna get into it. So with that being said, follow us on Enamored Movie Reviews on YouTube and podcast as well. Even though we ain't having no discussions in a while, we forgot to do the discussion on 1001 with Tiana Taylor.
Yeah,
we need to have that. You know what? We could probably rewatch that. But at this point, we could rewatch it. We still should have the discussion, the full discussion, because we have full discussions on there as well.
Right.
So check us out on there, y'all. All right, man. We out. Hit that outro. Let's do this.
Hey.
Good episode, man. Yeah, man. Oh, man. It felt good to come back, too.
Of course.
And I forgot how to set this stuff up.
Hey.
Really?
Hey.
That music goes so hard, bro.